At first, I was gonna wear my Stranger Things t-shirt for this review, but I don't think that would be too obvious. So I decided to do something very different, but related to Stranger Things, and especially for this season. Stranger Things Season 3 or Stranger Things 3. It is the latest season in Stranger Things, my favorite show on Netflix. Guys, I was so excited as soon as they announced Stranger Things Season 3. I knew this show was gonna get a third season, and as soon as that it hit on Netflix, I binge watched the show immediately. Watched all episodes, all 8 episodes in one day. But after I finished watching all 8 episodes, I couldn't help myself but rewatch the season again because, guys, I'm not only obsessed with the show, Stranger Things is my addiction, it is my drug. I love the show. Season 1 is a masterpiece. Season 2 was good. I really enjoyed Season 2, but I do think that it does lack in certain areas, especially with that one episode. Oh, that episode was horrible. But Stranger Things Season 3 is a step up from the last season. We have yet another great season in this series. Is this season just as great as Season 1? A tad bit it is, a tad bit. But I will admit that Season 1 is a much more stronger season, while Season 3 is a great season, but it is lacking certain areas, just like what Stranger Things Season 2 did. I will give you guys a heads up, because this review will contain spoilers, so if you guys have not watched Season 3 of Stranger Things, go ahead and watch Season 3. But if you just don't care for spoilers, which I don't know why, watch the review anyway if you just don't care for spoilers. But I do suggest you watch Season 3 and then go watch this review, because this season is awesome. Stranger Things Season 3, once again, another great season in this series, and they just can never, they'll never cease to amaze me. The Duffer Brothers are one of the working talents working today in television and the entertainment industry. They just know how to write good stories, good characters, great scenes, and just a well-crafted show and a well-crafted season. Especially the fact that it's been almost a year and a half, almost 2 years since Stranger Things has been on Netflix. The Season 2 came out in 2017, and just having the show to come back, it still feels fresh and new in certain areas. Unlike, don't mean to throw shade, but unlike Game of Thrones, which the last season was just complete letdown, honestly. But we're not here to talk about Game of Thrones. We're here to talk about Stranger Things. We're here to talk about the awesome stuff that happened in this season, because, man, so much stuff is going on in this season. Mike and Eleven are in a relationship, so is Lucas and Max. Dustin is coming back from summer camp. He is hanging around with Steve again, who works at an ice cream shop. Nancy and Jonathan are still in a relationship, and they are working for this news report station, which isn't going very well for them. Hopper and Joyce are having a bonding moment in the season, and Will, once again, is affected by the Upside Down. They just can't leave them alone, can't they? Billy, Max's brother, is affected by the Upside Down, and that's basically like almost goes around the entire season, how like Billy is affected by the Upside Down. He's gathering all these people around him, coming around him, and they create this like this monster that's almost close to the monster from The Thing, the 1982 or the original version of The Thing. They create this monster, and of course, like Eleven and the gang and everybody else are trying to stop them. And not only is the monster like the main like baddie in the season, the Russians, because in the 80s, if you watch 80s movies and if you love 80s movies, majority of their antagonists and villains are Russians. This is what I love about the show so much. If you guys know me, I love the 80s. I love the 80s. I love 80s music. I love 80s fashion, 80s TV shows, 80s movies, everything 1980s, 80s video games, anything related to the 1980s, I am obsessed with, because that is my favorite decade. That is the decade I wish I was born in. I wish I would experience. And just that decade just fascinates me so much. And that's probably one of the reasons why I love this show so much. Not just the fact that it takes place in the 80s, because this show can play all the nostalgia all at once, which it does. This show does a great job in balancing the nostalgia and tickling your nostalgia with 1980s. The show balances that with great characters and great story, because really, you could just have great 80s like nostalgia overload, and you could have these terrible characters. I think that if you would have had just that playing on a nostalgia factor, I don't think the season would have worked at all. This series would have worked at all, as a matter of fact, because what really tuned me into the show was not only that it took place in the 1980s, it just have so many great characters. Mike, Max, Eleven, Lucas, Dustin, Will, Jonathan, Steve. So many amazing characters in this show. And this show really... It's like I know these guys. I know these characters and I can relate to them. Especially in this season where it's like Mike and Eleven, Lucas and Max are in their lovey-dovey relationship. They're going through their teenage phase where they think they know everything. They think they can just rebel or they can just do whatever they want. Because they're not the same kids that we saw from the first 2 seasons. They're still the same characters, but they're not kids anymore. They're going through their adolescence, and they're now going through their phases where it's like their relationships, and these guys got to go really well for their relationship, or they got to go really bad. And then we have characters like Will, where he's just the lonely one out of the group, where he's just want to play Dungeons and Dragons. He's want to tell the guys like, hey, take a break from your girlfriends, let's play some D&D, because after all the stuff Will went through for the first 2 seasons, I feel like it's great for him to just go like, hey, can we just have some fun for once, guys? Like, I've been through some crap in the first 2 seasons. I deserve to have some like peaceful relaxation with my friends. And speaking of harping on the nostalgia for the 1980s, there is a character in this movie who is just an obvious nod to the Terminator from the original 1984 movie. Just the mannerisms, the look, the stature of the character in the season, in the show, just speaks Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger from the very first movie. Like, really, everything about this character just makes me go, yep, that's the Terminator. And he even, like, said it out like when Hopper was talking to Carrie Elwell's character, who is another, like, 80s alum, because, he was in The Princess Bride, where he told, like, who is this guy? That he just goes, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, they knew, like, what they were doing when they was writing the season, and I thought it was just perfection in that scene right there. How it just, like, we have this character who is Arnold Schwarzenegger, basically, from the first Terminator movie, and we just basically set it out in this scene. And what makes this season really great, and how each episode, as it went along, it gets better and better and better and better and more interesting. I was so engaged in the characters. I was so engaged in what was going to happen next. I was just very engaged in this season. And I would just like kept binging each and every episode. I didn't stop and look at my phone, go on my social media, see what's happening. No. My eyes were glued to the screen. My eyes were glued to what was happening in the season, or what was happening in every moment in the show. Just like season 2, how Max and Billy were the newcomers, we have a newcomer in this season that is Robin, Steve's co-worker in the ice cream scoop shop at the Starcourt Mall. Robin, who is played by Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman's daughter, she is awesome. I love Robin. She is one of my new favorite characters in the series. I love her friendship between her and Steve. They have great moments together, especially the scene where they are drugged and they get so high and drunk and they're just goofing off and laughing off. Their relationship and chemistry in this season is just great and fantastic. I love these two together. I also love the scene in one of the last episodes where she comes out to Steve, how Steve confesses his feelings for Robin, then Robin tells Steve that no, I'm not what you think I am. I'm actually pretty much like a big bold like text of that scene right there is like, I'm gay, Steve. And the way she comes out to him, and it was just like so well written and well acted. I also love Steve's reaction, how like He didn't even judge her. He didn't shun her after that. They just continued having their bonding and their friendship after that. Because Steve has grown a lot as a character. In the first season, he was a major douchebag. Season 2, he was the best parent ever. And Season 3, he became one of my favorite characters. That's character development right there. Another new character that I really love in this show, and probably one of the highlights of this season, and that is of Erica, Luca's younger sister, who we saw a little bit of in Season 2, but she had a spotlight. She had her time to shine in the season, and she is just hilarious. I thought I was going to hate her so much because of her attitude and her personality, but no, she really added a lot of humor and a lot of more, I wouldn't say depth, but she added a lot more to the table in the show. She did. And just like her banter with Steve and with Lucas and with Dustin and many other characters she interacted with in this season, it's wonderful. And it shows that child actors can just be as great as the adult actors in the show. And this show proved that child actors can be great. I mean, because look at Millie Bobby Brown. Look at Finn Wolfhard. Look at all these other kids. Noah Schnapp. All these great young talents are perfect. They are great actors. And usually that doesn't really work because child actors aren't really the best when it comes to acting. But in this show, these kids are going places. They are. And as of Dustin, who comes back from summer camp and he has a girlfriend, which everybody doesn't believe him because his girlfriend is nowhere to be present in this series until in the season, until the very last episode where they finally show his girlfriend, and they both sing the Never Ending Story theme song. I love that scene so much. How they both sing that song together. It was just so cute. It's so adorable. And it's so dorky like those two. Because it just made me so happy to see Dustin finally find someone. Because as you saw in the last episode of Season 2, how he had nobody to dance with. And he Snowball danced in the last episode of Season 2. And to see him finally have somebody, it just honestly brought a tear to my eye, honestly. It did. It was just such a pleasure, such a great moment. It could have handled off very cheesy, but if it did, I wouldn't mind because the 80s were a very cheesy time, and that's what part of the charm of the show, that they know the 80s were a very silly and quirky and cheesy time, and the show knows that, and they acknowledge that, and that's why this show works as well, because it has that charm of the 80s that's just so that I can't even describe it, but the show portrays it very well, and how it doesn't really feel like a show in 2019. It definitely feels like a show that came out straight out of the 80s. But as much as I love all the great moments and humor in the show does hit in the emotions. How in episode 6, where we see Eleven getting inside of Billy's mind, and how she was trying to help Billy, and then she went inside his mind, and then she sees Billy past, and how as we saw for Season 2, we thought Billy was just this douchebag brother to Max, but in episode 6, we see why Billy is the way he is now because of his father and his parents, how his father abused his mother, and how his mother left him, and that really caused and corrupted Billy as a child, and how he grew up, and how he treated Max. It added a lot more layer and depth to the character of Billy, where he's just not just a douchebag brother to Max. The dude was hurting. The dude had a lot of issues inside of him, and he had his own inner demons. And that's why it was so emotional and powerful, where he sacrificed himself at the last episode for the gang, for the party. It really grabbed me. It really did, because Billy was just a character that he just wanted to hate, but at the same time, because of his past and his background, you just can't help but say Billy, we hate to see you go, man, and you deserved way better. And I just love that about certain characters, how you thought they would just be a major douchebag, just like Steve, But as you get around to know more about the character, you start to realize that the character is not so bad after all. He's not. Another emotional scene in this season where a character named Alexi, who was a character that you thought would be annoying, but you ended up liking the character so far. Until the Terminator guy kills him in the carnival. This show just loves to play with my emotions. Like, you get these characters that, oh, I'm loving this character, I'm digging this character. The next thing you know, you decide to just kill them off. Yay, Stranger Things. Yay. And another big one, which I'm not completely 100% sure that this character is dead, but Hopper dies, and how Joyce tried to turn the switch and then vaporize everybody to close the gate at the last episode, and then Hopper was part of that scene. I don't think Hopper is dead, simply because we don't see him vaporize, which obviously doesn't really mean anything. And in the end credits of this season, we get to see, like, of course, the Demogorgon eating the person, and how, like, one of the people are trying to get so many humans out, and one of them said, "Don't bring the American." And I'm thinking that American might be Hopper, might be, but we'll see in season 4, because I'm personally feeling that Hopper is dead. Because if they just kill off Hopper like that, one, that punched me in the gut. Two, you don't kill off the character way too soon like that, because I love the character of Hopper so much. Even though in the season he is going through a crazy mental phase because Mike and Eleven are dating, and so much stuff is going on with the Russians and everything. Just don't kill. They could have just killed off Hopper like that. But if Hopper is truly dead, if Hopper is dead, not coming back in the next season when you found out he's really alive, no. If he's like dead, he died a hero. Because Hopper, again, one of my favorite characters in this show, and one of my favorite characters in television, period. What makes the season just as interesting, and even more interesting than the first 2 seasons, how everybody was split into groups. You see Nancy and Jonathan, they're in their own group. Steve, Dustin, Erica, and Robin, they're in their own group. Joyce and Hopper are in their own group. And then, of course, Mike, Eleven, Lucas, Max, and Will, they are in their own group. And in every moment when it comes back to each group, I was just interested and see what's going to happen to this group, and what's going to happen to this group, and what's going on with them. It's just almost like Infinity War, where everybody else was split into groups, and how, like, it didn't feel like it was too much, and it didn't feel like, oh yeah, we got to go back and forth. It was like that, but you were still, like, engaged because you love these characters, and you've seen these characters since season 1, and you're just interested to see what's going on in each and other groups and how they're dealing with this situation. And the finale punched me in the gut so hard. It felt like a series finale, not a season finale, and how Joyce, Jonathan, Will, and Eleven, they leave Hawkins. They have nothing to do with this town anymore, all the trouble and trauma they went through since season 1, especially with those characters, how Joyce was affected, how Jonathan, how Will, and how especially Eleven were affected from these events and from the Upside Down world. They just wanted to leave the town, just get away from everybody, but what really makes it emotional that they leave their friends, they leave Mike, they leave Nancy, they leave Steve, they leave Lucas and Max and Dustin, and just see that the ones who are leaving, they hug each other and cry, say their goodbyes. It felt like the show was just, like, done. It really felt like that. But of course, you know, there's going to be a season 4. There's going to be plenty more to come after this. But honestly, after this, I'm not sure what season 4 is going to be like. Especially the fact that the characters are moved away. Like, how season 4 is going to be. This is the first time where, after season 2 and season 1, like, when those seasons ended, I knew what direction they were going, but, like, after this, I honestly have no clue at all of what's going to happen next. And that's what makes this show great, and this season especially, is that they can go in so many different avenues, and it just leaves me with theories and speculation on what season 4 is going to be like. Are they going to come back? Are they going to move in with the rest of those who left? And 11 lost her powers at the end of this season, and will 11 get her powers back? She's going to get her powers back, she is. But how? But once she gets her powers back, it's going to be this badass moment that every Stranger Things fan is going to freak out. I guarantee. That's it, guys. That's my review of Stranger Things Season 3. I love this season. I think it's just as close as Season 1 as this being just great in perfection. However, another one of my issues that I have with this season is the whole Mike and Nancy's mom and Billy fling thing. That could have been cut out from the season. I could have done without that, honestly. It went nowhere at all. I know that was set up in season 2, but honestly, in this season, they could have just left that out. But other than that, love season 3. Loved almost every episode. Each and every episode got better and better. And honestly, guys, I bring on season 4, Duffer Brothers and Netflix, because I'm just ready for more and more and more. I'm going to give season 3 of Stranger Things an A. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of Stranger Things Season 3 in the comment section down below. And tell me, what's your favorite 1980s anything? It could be movies, toys, music, song, video game, whatever, anything 1980s related. Let me know what's your favorite in the comment section down below. And also your favorite season, your favorite character, your favorite episode of Stranger Things. Anything Stranger Things or 1980s related, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll read those and I'll probably respond. And as always, guys, if you are new to my channel and you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.